Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, whenever you're watching this. Welcome back to Dan's Trades. As always, none of this is financial advice, purely entertainment and or educational purposes only. I'm going to take a look at a trade that I took this morning. Today is the last day of June, June 30th, 2025. It's a Monday. And just past noon my time here, so it's 1:30 in New York. Maybe we'll take a look at live price in a little bit, but just going to look at this chart that we took right around the AM macro, and all transparency. This was taken while following a mentor of mine, David, FX for a living, inside his Discord in the OHLC Academy. Using all the knowledge that he teaches and just getting a little bit reset. This is a brand new account. If you may or may not have seen, I just posted my trade from Friday, which I toasted that 50K account that was in top one future, so I got a new one now. Read price wrong. Other people read it perfectly right. Saw it as a market maker buy model. I never saw a smart money reversal, so I was looking for a continued extension for a TGIF price move lower, and that hasn't happened yet, so that's fine. Not every Friday has a TGIF that goes back into 20 to 30% of the weekly range. So it's not cast in stone. That was just a good example of me getting things in my head. But I don't need to talk about that one. Maybe I'll go back to another time. The full video is posted from my executions, but I haven't posted anything about a review, so that was all just as it happened live. But neither here nor there. We'll quickly talk about the 930 here. So a few things marked up. So I'm in my trading view here. And we have, this is the 930 open. Trade was executed in the macro. 950 we see started in here. And I'll move it over to the 1 minute. This is a 15-second chart right now, just to see some of what I was looking at. Oops, I hate it when I do that. So this is the idea. Entering down here inside the macro after we had purged liquidity a couple times, right around a big figure, 22,800. So we definitely moved down from the open after taking and making all-time highs in the overnight session. So there's the pre-session, there's London, there's last night's Asian session, and the NWOG is down here. So that was what had happened previously during the day. Here's where the all-time highs happened. And then pre-session we're moving down, sharp move down at the 930. And we formed a couple fair value gaps on the way down. Again, this is a 15-second fair value gap. This is what I was targeting for my exit. Right above this swing high. Right above these relative equal highs. Nice liquidity pool right there. And here was the setup. Maybe I'm sharing too much, I don't know. Not many people watch me anyways. Doesn't really matter what you share, it's all about how you act when the price is live. Anybody can do things hindsight right and make it look like they did stuff, but that's fine. Fair value gap on a 15-second right there. Bullish fair value gap. And I look, here's where I entered. First portion of the trade, and you see there's nothing there. Don't worry, I'll get to that. Price moved up away, nice reaction. Drop below this by one tick. 795.25, 795 even. That gave me the confidence to add on. Entered two more on this close of this 1 minute inversion fair value gap that's drawn in. So it looks a little bit different on the 15-second chart, but this is a 1 minute inversion fair value gap. Once price closed back above as I was watching it, I immediately entered a second portion, so two contracts on here. Then looking for these potential buy-side liquidity to exit. This was the first one. No, 8:30 was the first one. And then this was the second one. This one was in between. So I didn't take anything off there. Stop moving that buy, sell, or long tool. There was my second exit. I was going to leave one runner on just in case it wanted to continue and run up to these buy-side liquidity pools that we see up here. And if I wanted to go back to make some more new all-time highs, but hasn't done that yet. So I was happy with my runner got stopped out on this move back down. And I'll adjust this over to a 1-minute chart so you can see why I took it off there. Now we can see his FX4 Living's amazing opening range model tool. These are all FX4 Living coded free FX4 model, OHLC tool, and the ICT 30-minute opening range tool. Don't need anything more than that. So here's a view of the 1 minute. So there's the first presentation on a 1 minute, which is also the exit of my trade, the majority of it. So here we're looking at, now you see the 15-second markups inside a 1 minute chart. Things start to make a little bit more sense. There's that other buy-side liquidity pool right at first displacement after midnight. So that was the other reason I was looking for it to possibly come back up there for a move up. And then terminus would have been right around 900 here. But it didn't get up there. I exited right here based on this 1 minute candle after I was just going to leave one runner. And since the runner didn't go, the runner got stopped out in profit. And that's fine. Again, you might be saying, Dan, I don't see any executions on there. And that's because I didn't execute in TradingView, because the top one futures account is over here. And here's the executions. This is a new, brand spanking new since I blew up the 50K account because I was over leveraged. Another good lesson for myself. I haven't done that in like a year. Completely over leveraged that account by trading 20 micros. Way over leveraged on the 50K account. And I thought it was really funny enough too that I was reviewing a live stream from David, FX4 Living again. Kudos to him for putting all this together. I had literally just listened to a previous stream that he was talking about the 50K accounts like a joke anyways, because it's not enough. You don't have enough drawdown abilities, and yeah, 20 accounts or 20 contracts is obviously way too high. I let my emotions get to me. A lot of things are clicking in my world, so it is what it is. Long story short, we have a properly sized account now at 150K, and now there's today's profit. And here's the executions. Looking at the same 15-second chart. I'll make this bigger so we can see it easier. So there's where we're talking about the first entry in the macro, 950 in 30 seconds. It was a market order, so it was filled at 812, which was up in this area after the close. So I was looking for confirmation of that. And I believe David entered similar time, but so it's like I don't follow him blindly. I still follow based on the concepts that I understand and what I've read in price. So yeah, it's a good idea to get an idea from someone, but you still have to understand what's happening. I don't just blindly follow because he's doing something. I understand what's cooking. It's like a confluence. Because he did not add on this pullback. I think he just went in once and exited. That was perfectly fine. So here we came down, came back up, there's that rally. Drew a fib on this wick, which is why I had the confidence to add on to this. This candle closed above consequent encroachment, or excuse me, that'd be mean threshold. Either way, it's 50% of this discount wick. And then once this one closed above, which is the same as that inversion fair value gap, that's where I entered that second portion of the trade. So we had 4 contracts on. And now, obviously, this is triple the size of the account, and I'm actually trading less. So just starting small again and building it back up. And there's the execution of that first liquidity pool. Just missed it right there. Engineered a little bit more liquidity and pulled back. Came down, refilled this inefficiency. Came back and touched here. Then got another rally up. Here's the top of the hour. 10 o'clock, started running up higher. Then we pulled back down to make a wick on the 10 o'clock. And drove it right up into that 15-second fair value gap. This is how it looks on, so this is the 15-second fair value gap. You see it right here. I got it drawn in similar to how I do on the trading view chart. Consequent encroachment must be a random exit point. Had my limit order sitting just below it, because as I hold that out, you see that's right on it. So it took the exit right there. So first two, last one that I had one runner. If it wanted to continue, if the algo was going to say, let's go take more liquidity, but apparently didn't have enough yet to run up there. So we're coming back down and engineering more liquidity. Here's where I was stopped out in profit on my runner. That was based on this low, which is based on a 1-minute chart. Now we're live. Let's go back to previous. Because as you've heard ICT say many times, if price is bullish, down close candles will support price. So I put my stop right there. If it went below it, it's going to continue, or it's not going to continue higher, whichever way you want to look at it. That's exactly where my final contract was exited. 22.825. 22.824.50 was that low. So that's where I took it off. And it can just continue to consolidate. So I was perfectly happy seeing that exit. Bunch of consolidation. Let's see what we're doing now. Just because I'm curious, I haven't watched much since I was mocking this all up after the fact. As you've seen, if you've watched the blow up video, I do mark sometimes since when I am recording, but not always. You can just see it now. Once you get enough seat time, you can see the fair value gaps. Like I can see this one here, tiny little balanced price range right there with this SIBI and this busy. Makes sense that price went back up there, and now we're still just consolidating. So we're making the PM opening range right now. So you can see nothing else has been taken. That was the one and only trade on this account so far, was this long this morning, because we are still bullish on all the higher time frames. So I'm not looking for any shorts. We don't call tops, right? Follow what ICT says. So there's a nice scalp in the New York AM session. And we can move this over. I'm going to pause it for a quick second so I don't expose any account number, because there's one more screen that does show it, even though their streamer modes like to be able to give you privacy. If you go over to the stats tab, right above this is the account number is exposed, so it'd be nice if they actually did that. So there's 100%. Here's the profit for the day. Perfectly fine, and it's NFP week, so that's why we're also trading Monday. Longer hold time, so tend to be less than a half an hour, but there's the 1 day, and there's the executions. So, good start to the end of the month. Worst trade now is a positive one. Best trade is a positive one. 100% win rate. There we go. No losses. It'll come, just not today. I don't believe I'm going to trade the PM session or 15 minutes into creating that opening range. So let's jump back over there because I'm curious now to see what it's cooking. 1 minute chart. Let's see what PM's doing. Lunch has just been all consolidation. That's what happens after you take all-time highs. After a big price move, expect consolidation. So here's where here's where I read it wrong last week. You tell me. And I'm not dissing anybody, but I always look for a very obvious smart money reversal, even down to the 1 minute chart. How do you call this a smart money reversal? I'd love to know. If there had been a wick and then, I would say, sure, I agree. Let's move this over here so I can see my prices. 22,600, 22,600, 22,600. 3 perfectly equal lows. That is not a smart money reversal. Those that saw this as a market maker buy model were, on the right end of that trade. I'm not saying they did anything wrong, but I don't believe you can call this a market maker buy model by ICT standards if there isn't actually technically a smart money reversal. Let's see. Let's go down even deeper. Let's go down to a crazy 5-second chart. I don't even know if this is there. I'm literally just doing this live right now, so we'll see what happens. Again, I'm not saying anybody's wrong. I'm just going off of what ICT is taught and how you actually view a smart money reversal in a MMXM. I got to get my bearings on this chart now since we might not be able to go that far back on a 5-second. Let's see, where are we? Yeah, this is Friday. That's the morning. Let's go to the PM. There's the PM. Let's see. I'm curious. Doing detective work. Is it there in a 5-second chart? No. 1453, 5-second chart, 22,600. 1456, 22,600. 22,600, 22,600. We have 4 now, relative, exactly, not even relative. 4 equal lows at 22,600. That's not a smart money reversal. Do I need to go down to a 1-second chart? Why not? Just because I'm here. It'll be hard enough just to find it, but let's do it. This is how you do investigative work. At least it's how I do it. Again, I'm not teaching. I'm just investigating. Is a 1-second chart going to work? I don't know. It might not. I might have to go to like replay, which, whatever, that's fine. Oh, here we go. Wait for it. Sunday the 29th. Oh, we don't have. So that's. Okay. So let's do this. Let's go market replay. Back it up to last week. Is it going to work for me? Hello? I'm going to pause the recording real quick since this is dumb. Okay, that took a long time. I'll have to look at the timestamp later. It's 12:53 now, which is 13:53 New York time. 1-second chart in replay mode to review the data. 22,600. 22,600. 22,600, 22,600. There is no, I mean, you could say these are 1-second smart money reversals on market maker models in the 20-point ranges. I guess you can make a case for that. But you can't make a case for this one being one, because this happened one, I'll just use the tool if I can. Nine bars, 8 bars, so 8 seconds. You have an 8-second relative equal low. Again, I'm not saying anybody's wrong. I'm just saying this is not a smart money reversal by ICT's definition, as I understand it. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I'd love to be corrected. Either way, it doesn't really matter. But that was part of why I was expecting lower prices, to be honest. Because I didn't see any reversal. I was expecting a continuation, hence why I held that, and I held on to my framework until I was wrong, and that's fine. That's what you have to do. I was expecting a continuation lower for a TGIF setup, and I let myself take that, and I accept the consequences. That's perfectly fine. I'm actually kind of glad I did this down to the 1 second, because that just helps me and my understanding of reading price and ICT concepts. I think that anybody that took that made a great trade, great profits. Kudos to them. I just don't think they should teach it as being a smart money reversal. That's fine. Again, I'm not teaching. I'm just reviewing and looking. So this is mostly for me at the end of the day. It's not for anybody that's watching. I thank anybody that's watching. It's go back to 1 minute. Now that we're getting to the top of the hour, let's see what's cooking. That was a fun little dive for, you want to talk technical science. Let's go 1 second chart. So we know now. That's a juicy target. There's what it looks like on the 1 minute chart, in case you forgot already. New York PM low, relative equal lows. I mean, beautiful. I was expecting, I'll stop expecting whatever. I thought it was going to be more logical that the market on close would have went lower. But it didn't, and it took me out. That's fine. I digress. Asia, London. Bigger Asian sessions in London. You don't see that very often. Hence all-time highs. And let's see what we got cooking here. 3 more minutes left. Let's see if the opening range, the PM session range is not in yet, because we're getting displacement. 3 minutes to go. So this is a very fun macro right now. We just took out the AM lows. That was pretty sweet. And there's no news today, so this is all the markets. What's this range? 70-point range was just made in the last 3 minutes. Good times. Whoops, that's not what I need. This is the one I want. Yeah, I'm not trading the PM session. The hand that's the hand. Not that I'm well versed at always calling that, but I don't see moves like that very often. All this consolidation, then it rips up, takes out liquidity here. First presentation, tap that, and it ran to take all the liquidity that's built up throughout the day so far. So that 3 minute move right there was pretty cool. They're inducing people left and right now. Trapping people to go long, ripping it back down across them. Let's see what happens in the last minute here. I would assume that's the end of the range and we'll have the PM starting. But you don't assume anything. You just watch and see what it does now, right? Lesson learned, Dan. Right at previous day's high right now. That's the FX4 model under the covers. Seeing which one's which. So there's FX4 model. That was the other reason that was behind this rationality. Was there news that I missed? I don't think so. No, there's no news today. Let me look if there's low impact news. I don't have my filter set to that. Let me take a look over here. Let's turn that back on so we can see it. The range will be set in 4 seconds. That's the range now. So PM, first presentation, also a SIBI, is right under AM's first presentation. They're stacked. There's PM, there's AM. So 2 stacked first presentation fair value gaps. And I'm going to pull up the news over here. And let's turn my filter. I can bring this over here so you can see it. Why not? It's not like it's. Let's turn the low impact on. Let's apply all filters. FOMC Goldsby at 1 o'clock. That's two, so that's an hour ago. So there wasn't even a low impact news. So that person was talking right here. So I couldn't tell you what that was outside of manual intervention and market makers having fun. Throw the OHLC model on there, and one of the most incredible indicators I've ever seen because it has all the things you'll ever need. I've dialed it in so I can see the sessions in the backgrounds, different colors, swing highs and lows. It has more than you'll ever need. Just find out what you like. So now we're in a macro. Obviously, this is the first macro. We're in the second macro with that 20 minutes around the top of the hours. Fractal highs and lows of the new hour. And this is also a new 4-hour candle forming. Six, 10, here's the 2 o'clock, so brand new. So we got the last 4 hours were bearish candles. Most recent price delivery is sell side. Relative equal or low resistance up here. High resistance right here, but we're in this fair value gap still. Just take a look what's going on here. The last 4 hour tapped consequent encroachment of this 4 hour fair value gap, and it's coming higher. Let's look at what last week looked like on the 4 hour chart. Nothing but up. Nothing but up last week. Monday low of the week, Friday high of the week. All kinds of fun liquidity in here after we've taken all-time highs. That was the biggest move in weeks. At 22,400 is a very interesting liquidity void area. Keep that in mind. I'm not saying it's going there now, but just keep it in mind. It's an interesting area of price. This is a market maker buy model because we have a valid SMR there. Let's turn that off for a second. So that's actually lower. That's a valid rejection block that wasn't breached. This is on a 4 hour chart. This is where they can be tricky, but it's not a relative equal low. Liquidity void there. These are down in the 18,000s. Obviously, this is a long time ago. There's another one. These liquidity voids in the NWOGs. I'd keep your eye on this one if I was you. It'll be interesting to see. And it is NFP week, don't forget. And it's also a weird NFP week. I should, let me pull that back up. For anyone that might be watching that doesn't know this yet. Where did my... Let's bring that calendar back over. And let's adjust that back to, take that off. No news today. NFP week. But NFP's on Thursday this week because Friday is Independence Day in the United States. So no trading on the 4th of July. So to make things even more fun, NFP's on Thursday. So the previous one's on Wednesday. So normally by ICT rules is you're done trading by Wednesday lunch for people that are newer to the markets. Might want to be done by Tuesday lunch this week because we got a 1 day shorter. Powell speaking tomorrow. Jolts, ISM, and then NFP fun later. So be careful out there. Not a 1 month. Yeah, those are crazy wicks. I'm done for the day, that's for sure. All right, I'll probably under there. And let's see. Just trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to cover. Since I'm not going to do a trade review on that one where I blew it up, but that's fine. And I'm also not going to always show values. I'll just show in the beginning as I'm building this account, but I'm not going to continue that all the time because it doesn't need to be shown. I'll just probably show executions maybe from here on out because it'll just help me, help you, whatever. Those are nice. That's juicy. Everything's juicy right now. It's a lot of consolidation. Then that spiked it, so if I were a gun to my head, I'd think higher prices into the close, but we'll see. I have no idea. That's what we don't do anymore. That's one thing David's taught me is I don't need to anticipate. I don't need to guess. Just read price and then act accordingly. Not that we're reacting, but still have an idea. Like this is juicy. These lunch relative equal highs are juicy since this just spiked down and took out the New York AM just from a session standpoint. Let's go to a 15. There's that 4-hour fair value gap, especially since if it respects that, I'm going to anticipate, prognosticate that it might go. We're not done going higher yet. We'll see. And then who knows what NFP will do. If it does 22,400, I'll fall apart. I'm not suggesting that. I'm not suggesting anything. Or no, is it 20,400 was the fun part. Let's watch go all the way down here. Bam. 2,000 point loss on Thursday going into 4th of July. They wouldn't like that. They want people happy, right? Yeah, from a session standpoint. Previous day's lows way down here. But you don't think about that until it gets through this. We'll see what it does. It'll be fun to watch. All right. Appreciate anyone that's here listening, joining. Hope anything helps you. It's just kind of how I view things and how I'm looking at things and making my way on this path. I've got a couple of helpers. The only two I trust is ICT and David. If you're looking for a place, OHLC Academy is the best one I've found. And yeah, if anyone's watched my videos for years, since I've been posting a few here and there, I've been with others who I thought were decent at the time. I still say they're decent, but I won't say they're better than this. Appreciate you, David. With that, I'll leave you with, as always, remember, tomorrow is promised for none of us. Live for today, and take care.